This is looking to be a very explosive fight. One that you definitely don't want to miss out on.
So what would the result be?
The prediction is will not last 12 rounds, I think.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely.
At the intense first press conference for his upcoming fight, boxing legend Manny Pacquiao surprised everyone with a strong message for his opponent, Mario Barrios. The 8-division world champion, usually calm and humble, showed a rare side of aggression. As cameras flashed and the pressure rose, Pacquiao made it clear, this match is more than just a fight. It's personal. If Barrios believed he was facing a past his prime legend, Pacquiao's fiery attitude showed that he's still a serious threat.
Okay, how's it going?
All right, good. Everything's good.
All right, so
Good, man.
for a long time we talked about Manny Pacquiao coming back, Dustin. For a long time we talked about him fighting. Now it's real, it's happening. Him and Mario Barrios, break it down.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight.
WBC champion.
Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. It's like a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
It would shock the world, but he wins at his age, yeah, I mean, but it's not, listen, he's 45, 46.
Are you leaving jail?
45, 46, but he's not. He's always active. He's always staying active. He's always doing something. Mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport, something cardio. So no, not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, "I'm not surprised." So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win.
Diaz beat. I mean, different Diaz. I like Diaz.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback to boxing after 4 years is creating a lot of excitement, especially after his intense press conference, where he gave a serious warning to WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. The 46-year-old boxing legend, famous for his speed and strength, is ready to face the 29-year-old Barrios on July 19, 2025, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
It's a very contentious subject, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Ben maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why we pushed the Conor Ben fight. Conor Ben, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually, Pacquiao is a step up. And people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Ben is Boots. But he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Pacquiao has started training again with his longtime coach, Freddie Roach. Even though there are concerns about his age and long break from professional boxing, he has shown signs of his old skills during training. Still, some fans and experts are unsure if he can perform at the top level after being away for so long. Recent video from Los Angeles shows Pacquiao speaking with calm confidence, ready to take on any challenge. He talked about the pressure of being a role model and the lessons he's learned from past losses. Though serious, his message was hopeful, and physically he looked sharp and focused. Training clips show him hitting pads quickly, moving smoothly, and preparing for his fight with Barrios like a young fighter looking for redemption. However, the fight's approval has caused debate. Critics say his age and long break should have kept him from a title shot. The WBC ranking Pacquiao as number 5 in the welterweight division has also raised concerns, with some questioning the fairness and safety of the matchup.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a shock return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's, that guy's my hero, you know, I named my dog after him and stuff like that, you know, so, but he's touching 50 years old. I think, you know, he should leave it where it is, you know, but, you know, obviously, if you get a chance to share a ring with Manny Pacquiao, nobody's going to say no, you know.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back when talking about Manny Pacquiao's surprise comeback fight against Mario Barrios. Speaking honestly, Hackett said that if this fight had happened years ago, Pacquiao would have easily beaten Barrios. But things are different now. He believes the current Pacquiao is no longer the explosive and powerful fighter who once ruled the ring. At 45, the boxing legend can't be expected to show the same speed, energy, or killer instinct he once had. Hackett called the fight more of a money-making event than a real battle between top athletes at their peak. In his eyes, it's more of a show than a true contest.
Hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like on. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like this. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans are going to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Manny Pacquiao has a die-hard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boots, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but he want to steal as much as he can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So you want to make some money and you want to do great things.
Former champion Tim Bradley shared the same concerns, saying the fight seems more driven by money than by a love for the sport. According to Bradley, when a fighter comes out of retirement, it usually means they're looking for a big payday. He believes that even though the WBC title is up for grabs, the real reason behind the fight is the prize money. Barrios, who is younger and still active, is being put forward as the new face meant to challenge Pacquiao. Bradley even said that Barrios has the youth, energy, and skills to possibly stop Pacquiao, raising doubts about whether the boxing legend should be fighting at all.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One, two. I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well. Can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. That Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
On the other hand, Oscar De La Hoya has shown support for Manny Pacquiao's return to boxing, saying he still believes in the legendary fighter despite his age. While he admits Pacquiao is now in his mid-40s, De La Hoya thinks the Filipino icon still has the heart, drive, and skill to compete with younger fighters like Mario Barrios. He praised Pacquiao's long and successful career, saying a fighter with that much experience should never be counted out. For De La Hoya, it's not about how old Pacquiao is. It's about what he still brings to the ring.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him. Can he do it? Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs.
He's a legend,
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Despite the doubts from others, Mario Barrios stays calm and confident. Speaking before the fight, Barrios said he respects Pacquiao but isn't afraid of him. He plans to follow his strategy and use his youth and height to keep the pressure on. Barrios doesn't see this as just a money fight. He views it as the biggest chance of his career and a shot to add Pacquiao's name to his list of victories.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that combination punchers. That's how Pacquiao was landing. His punches, combinations, and it just showed that he is a great fighter. But I'm going into this camp, into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has doubts about Mario Barrios' size advantage over Manny Pacquiao. While Barrios is taller and has a longer reach, Atlas questions how much this really helps. Barrios moved up to the welterweight division after fighting at lower weights because making the 140-pound limit became harder for him. Even Barrios admits this. Because of that, Atlas thinks Barrios' size might not be a big advantage in the ring. This means the fight could be closer and more competitive than some expect, with the experienced Pacquiao facing the younger Barrios. When Pacquiao announced his return, it surprised many in the boxing world, as he retired in 2021 and hasn't fought since.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course we understand Pacquiao has moved up, my God. I don't even know when he first turned pro, you would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
108 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. Look what he did to this horse. But look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people. One of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit, than when Pacquiao fought him, and maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight.
Mauricio Sulaiman, president of the WBC, confirmed that all approvals were in place for Pacquiao to fight for the welterweight title. There is talk that the Barrios fight is just a stepping stone for Manny Pacquiao. Many rumors say that if Pacquiao beats Barrios, it could lead to a huge fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. Fans and experts wonder if Barrios was chosen because he's an easier opponent, giving Pacquiao a chance to build momentum and create excitement for what might be his last big fight. The idea is that this match might not be the biggest test, but a smart move to prepare for a major career-defining battle with Davis.
WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
If Pacquiao beats Barrios, a fight with Gervonta Davis could become one of the most exciting matches in recent history. Both are powerful left-handed fighters with huge fan followings, and their showdown would grab attention worldwide. Pacquiao's return brings a strong feeling of nostalgia. He's chasing the same WBC title that started his rise to fame years ago. Back then, he won his first world championship at flyweight. Now he wants to end his career as the WBC welterweight champion. It's a full-circle moment that means more than just winning another belt. For Pacquiao, this fight feels personal. It's not just about his legacy, but about reconnecting with where his journey began. His comeback is driven as much by feelings and memories as by competition.
Boxing Doctor News told onto your gloves, boxing fans, the rumors are true. Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring. At 46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker. Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. Will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? Get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of your seat.
Fans and commentators are comparing Pacquiao to George Foreman, who famously won a world title again at age 46. It's a rare achievement in boxing, but not impossible. Many think that if Foreman could do it, Pacquiao, known for his endless energy and legendary career, might also pull off the same feat. This fight has become a story about beating age and proving people wrong.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. You know, Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight, he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. You know, I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. You know, if there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. You know, Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback has brought new excitement and debate to the boxing world. At 46, Pacquiao is returning to the ring after a 4-year break, aiming to win back the title that started his famous career. This fight is not just a battle between Pacquiao's experience and Barrios' youth, but also raises questions about legacy, motivation, and how boxing continues to change.
Mentioned a lot of people are asking what's going on. Are the rumors true? Is it possibly Spence? Is it Pacquiao? Who is Mario Barrios sharing the ring with next?
You know what? He's put himself in a great position through hard work. You know, he's a tremendous story when he turned pro and what he's been able to accomplish being a 2-time world champion. And I always told everybody, you know, he fights all comers. You know, when we fought Gervonta Davis, all my hats off to Gervonta Davis. You know, but it was very difficult for us to make the weight. We were going to move up in weight. They presented us, you know, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll bite down for it one more time. And then from there, you know, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-ups, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Batirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's, you know, Pacquiao, Spence, if that's a unification with Boots Ennis.